Trump's unnecessary trade war with China continues, and stocks dive so deep they've almost reached the Mariana Trench. This is just another day. It comes as a surprise to no one that with stocks tanking, 401ks plummeting, and trade partners bailing, America's economy got back on the roller coaster today. Sorry, did I say no one? It actually came as a surprise to one person.
Mr. President, can you give us a reaction to today's stock market drop and also give us a sense of the next steps with China?
Well, I haven't seen it because I've been here for 2.5 hours.
That's right. When it comes to anything going on in the outside world, this president is more locked out than a CIA black site. I also kind of love that Trump is adopting the same tactics that members of his own party used during his first term when they didn't want to deal with the shitstorm he was creating.
I didn't see that tweet, actually. I can hear what you're reading, but I've spent the weekend reading litigation and regulatory materials related to asylums.
We saw the president's tweets this weekend.
Actually, I was out of town.
GOP Senator Marco Rubio told CNN, "I didn't see it. You're telling me about it. I don't read Twitter. I only write on it."
That was then Senator Marco Rubio using the classic defense of, "I only read Playboy for the articles." But just because Trump was trapped inside, that didn't mean that he didn't have people on the outside to field questions about how awesome everything was going.
Kevin, what about the deals? We want to see deals. We want to see win after win after win. We want to see countries coming into the White House signing deals. When will that happen?
Great question. Trump has said that his phone's been ringing off the hook and that there's not enough time in the day to get all those big, beautiful deals done. So this is the moment we've been waiting for. Let's see it. Where's this big, beautiful list of countries that wants a seat at the negotiating table?
I'm not going to name the countries yet. In fact, we have a meeting today with all the top principals where we're going to present to the president.
Wait. I'm not going to name the countries, but there are so many, and they're clamoring. They all want a seat at the table, and you can't even just name one. That's like showing you a picture of my totally real supermodel girlfriend who lives in Canada just to prove she exists. And by the way, she's been telling me during our awesome sex times that Trump's tariffs on her country are tough, but fair. But back inside, our blissfully ignorant president gathered with his cabinet in their apparently airtight, newspaperless, Wi-Fi-less, carrier pigeon-proof room to do what exactly?
Under your leadership, like so many other industries, we are going to revitalize and make shipbuilding and maritime great again.
The effort that we have is fulfilling the mandate that you earned from the American public.
What you have assembled in your vision is a turning point and an inflection point in American history. And so just being a part of that is the greatest honor. So thank you for that. And
President, we've had some great wins in the last few days that, you were overwhelmingly elected by the biggest majority. The U.S. Americans want you to be president because of your agenda.
And so, again, thank you for your leadership and thank you for everything you're doing.
Good God. Lincoln surrounded himself with a team of rivals. Trump surrounded himself with a team of blowjobs. But as the volatility in the market continued and the S&P tumbled 3.5% today, this president spent over an hour getting showered in compliments from his cabinet in a meeting that I can only assume was held inside of his colon. But it wasn't just praise he was receiving. He also got updates on some of the important work that his administration's been doing.
So that's something you said, we're taking back the canal. China's had too much influence. Obama and others let them creep in. We, along with Panama, are pushing them out, sir.
I'm working with Lee Zeldin to reassess the fluoride rules based upon the August release by the National Toxicity Program of new science that shows a direct inverse correlation between exposure to fluoride and IQ loss, particularly in children.
Within the next 24 hours, you're going to be seeing another huge arrest on a Tesla dealership, President, and that person will be looking at least 20 years in prison with no negotiations.
You know what? Thank God. We have been hearing for years about how these migrant caravans are pouring into this country to rape our wives and sell drugs to our kids, but finally, we have a Justice Department willing to stand up and put a stop to this scourge of Tesla vandalism plaguing our few cities. But in his cabinet meetings, Trump did make one general yet extremely illuminating statement about how his whole tariff debacle is playing out.
So we think we're in very good shape. We think we're doing very well. Again, there'll be a transition cost and transition problems, but in the end, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Right there. Transition costs and transition problems. The only thing this man loves more than money is rebranding the words higher prices and unemployment. Because to everyday Americans, those are the transition costs. This guy is treating the real pain that families feel like shipping and handling fees on an Amazon purchase. But there are other Americans whose transition problems are slightly less problematic. Yesterday, after Trump hit pause on his tariffs, billionaires scored their best day ever in the stock market. I wonder if there's any connection between that inexplicable windfall of cash and yesterday's post from when Donald Trump said,
he wrote on Truth Social just minutes after the market opened, "This is a great time to buy," 3 exclamation points.
3 exclamation points! Because when some people flirt with insider trading, they opt to be discreet, and others scream it with 3 exclamation points. But here's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick addressing this total non-story.
Earlier this morning before the pause, he put out a message saying it's a great time to buy, and here we are. Here we are,
well,
much higher.
I'd always bet on Donald Trump. Every time I'd always bet on
He
Donald
also wrote DJT, which is the ticker for his media company.
No. Every text
just
he
his-
does.
that was just his-
every
okay.
text he sends to me, that's his name.
But that
That's
was a
how he
great time
says
to
it.
buy the market, right? I mean, uncanny.
Well, Donald Trump understands that America is the greatest country. All right, we are the greatest country, and we have the capacity for incredible greatness.
So Lutnick gets asked about serious accusations of insider trading and launches into tired platitudes about how great this country is. This administration shouldn't be allowed to get away with that any more than I should be allowed to use the same tactics to get out of a speeding ticket. How fast was I going? As fast as this great nation will allow, officer. Is this not the United States of America? The land of the free and home of the brave? You know, our ancestors did not storm the beaches of Normandy. In fact, not since the pandemic has America seen this much hoarding. But this time, it's not closets full of sanitizer or rolls of toilet paper.
Oh my God.
Now it's portfolios filled with money. And Trump isn't even trying to hide how much he and his friends are recouping from his chaos.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. He's in financial.
Do you hear the laughter, the gloated chuckles? That's Trump and Charles Schwab, a man worth almost $11 billion, laughing it up inside the Oval Office about what an amazing day they've just had. You see, Trump's measure of success isn't being able to afford quality health care, or getting to retire comfortably, or being able to send your kids to college without plunging yourself into debt. His measure of success is, did he and his rich friends get a little bit richer today? Is it any mystery that a man who claims to have so much cash is also the same guy who hawks sneakers online for $400 a pop? Who hawks Bibles and coins and shirts and hats and $2 bills that are literally not even worth $2? He is a corrupt real estate slumlord who lied his way into office by rebranding everything he does. If there was any justice, Trump and his cronies would be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. And when that day comes, I just hope he isn't inconvenienced by any transition problems.